In this video, I'm going to teach you probably the most important thing about Injustice 2, and that's frame data, how to read it, and how to understand it. Yo, what's up guys, Shujinkydink here with another video to entertain or assist you in becoming the better Injustice 2 player. And this video is all about frame data. There's 6 different parts of frame data, and if you ever looked at your moves list and you're wondering, what are all these mumbo jumbo numbers mean? That's kind of why I'm here today, to kind of explain it to you, because it's very, very important. So in this video we're only going to go over 3 of them. We're going to go over startup, block advantage, and hit advantage. So the first thing that you need to know is that this game runs at 60 frames per second. So a 10 frame move would be about 1/10 of a second. So the lower the number, the faster the move is. So that's really important to find out what your quickest moves are, how to punish, how to just reverse pressure. Pretty much everything in the game, every special move you do has some sort of frame associated with it. And we're going to start with the startup frame. So that's how many frames it takes for your attack to actually become active and hit your opponent. So we're looking at Power Girl right now. So we got the star jab, which you can see the startup frame is 8. So that's relatively fast, less than 1/10 of a second. Her down 2 is 7 frames. Standing 2 is 8 frames. Generally speaking, there's not a whole lot of moves that are faster than 6 frames. If you have a move that's 6 frames, that's considered extremely fast. So here's an interesting example. You have this move that startup is 30 frames. That's quite slow. That's half a second. Which, if you think about how all this goes, when you see the pro players and how they react to each other and stuff, you really get a new appreciation for how quick the reaction times have to be in order to punish certain things. So for example, here's a trade-off, and this is why I'm going to go into the block advantage. So the block advantage is, if you do a move, are you stunned? Do you have more advantage? Is it still your turn? It basically dictates whose turn it is to move, and kind of might negate some options. So in this instance, this move is very slow at 30 frames, but it has a high block advantage of +5. So +5, basically take that 5 frames and knock it off of whatever move. So if you're a plus, you're at an advantage. So think of that, plus equals advantage. So you want to follow up with a move afterwards. So if we do her forward 3 into her standing 2, because our forward 3 is 5 frames plus, we can take it off the startup of this move. So the startup on this move would technically be 3 frames, which would mean that nobody in the game would have a normal attack that would be able to stop that move. That is what's called a frame trap. So you use this really slow move that has a high block advantage, and you put it into a move that allows no escape for the opponent at all, with the exception of armoring. Armoring starts up on generally 1 or 2 frames, so that is still an option, as well as backdashing as well. So let's take the opposite approach, and we'll go say you're negative. And a good thing to example for this is this move here, which is her overhead attack, which you might have seen in the combo video that I did about her. So the overhead is a quick startup at 11 frames, but if you block it, you're -35, which by now you hopefully realize that is incredibly negative. Considering the startup on almost all her attacks is less than 35, she could even punish herself with this really slow forward 3 move if she wanted to. And this is where frame data is important. If you're playing somebody and they keep doing a move over and over again to you, and you don't know how to punish it, you can take this character in, look up that one specific move and say, okay, this move is, in this instance, -35. Now that I know that's -35, I need to find my own move that's less than 35 frames to attack it, which isn't very hard. Forward 3 will punish it. Standing 3 will punish it. Down 2 will punish it. Back 2, forward 2, standing 2. All of these ones that are less than 35 frame startup will punish it. And you want to look into your combos as well. So for example, you could use back 1 2 is a good one for her, because it starts a combo. So you say, okay, this person keeps doing this combo over and over again to me. I block it and I don't know what to do. You go in, you find that, what's my fastest combo that leads to, or a combo string that leads to a full combo that I can use every time this person does that move. And that's kind of how how frame data works. It's the main part of the game. It's your foundation of your house. If you're building a house, their frame data is your foundation. You can't build a house without a foundation. So it teaches you everything you need to know about the game. Characters with really good frame data are generally the better characters in the game. Not always, but generally speaking. The last one we're going to talk about in this video is hit advantage. So this is how much advantage you have if you actually hit your opponent. Usually if your opponent hits you with something, you don't want to move afterwards because they just are at a huge advantage most of the time. And you can see the hit advantage on here is plus 22, plus 15, this one's plus 57, and I'll show you one in particular here, which is her Frost Breath. Hit advantage is plus 115, so that is a very good move if it hits, and even if it's blocked, it's minus 5. However, she holds it, and then if she holds it, it's minus 18, but that's getting into a whole new can of worms. I don't want to confuse you guys too much. So hit advantage is how much time you have after you hit to do a move. Now I'll show you the Frost Breath as an example here. So this is 115 frames. So they're frozen there for 115 frames, which is like a second and a half, which is forever in a fighting game. So that allows you to combo into that, and you're good to go. So let's go into the opposite example. Let's say that we were doing that overhead string that was minus 35 that I was talking about, and Superman doesn't know how to punish it. Finally goes into practice mode. He says, oh, it's minus 35. I can punish that with my fist. And then she comes up and she tries to do it. Now I'm holding block, and I get punched in the face. And I figured that out because I looked at the frame data and understood exactly how to punish everything. So that's a basic rundown of frame data, guys. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I'm super passionate about this stuff. I really enjoy teaching it. And I'll make a second video about the other part of the frame data, but that's getting a little bit into the advanced section, so that deserves its own video. It's probably going to be a little bit longer. This was just a basic rundown to help you guys understand why those numbers are there. So anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like because it really helps me out. And subscribe because we make videos like this all the time. Hashtag Bonehawks and all that stuff, and we'll see all you guys in the next video.
Accept your death.